as for me, like I mean, I did like 30 hours of my PhD at Oklahoma State before, stopping to do this. So, I mean, I'm familiar with the campus, and I spent a lot of time, going to classes there. But the thing about Oklahoma State that bothers me is Spencer Sanders is their ceiling. When they got a better quarterback on the bench in Shane Illingworth, like he showed that. Like Spencer Sanders goes down, Illingworth comes in at 6'4", about 240 pounds, and is launching bombs, and he's hitting guys in stride. And I said, holy crap, Oklahoma State's got a quarterback. And then Gundy decides that he's just going to run with Spencer Sanders anyway. This is a guy who's had 17 touchdowns to 13 interceptions in 12 games and puts the ball on the ground. I can't have that guy as my quarterback. Like, especially for them, because they need to have a dude that's going to operate between the snap, throwing Tylan Wallace the ball, and handing the ball to Chuba Hubbard. And let Charlie Dickey do what he does with that offensive line, because their defense, especially the secondary, has been playing lights out. So they got a shot here. And as far as frustrating Oklahoma, I don't think you're unwise to choose to believe that Oklahoma still got an opportunity here and Oklahoma can beat Oklahoma State, because 5 straight Big 12 championships, 3 straight trips to the college football playoff, and what most people believe is the most capable play caller in the sport. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, they haven't lost to Oklahoma State since the Tyreek Hill game in 2013, right?
That is correct. And they came close in 2018. Like, if Corndog does not, if he doesn't, dude.
Holy cow.
And then we got Trey Brown acting as if, he had stopped something from happening. Nah, dog, you were going to get roasted. It's just, Cornelius threw that ball in the ground. If he throws that ball to Tyler on the numbers, they win that game. So they've been close, right? And those games are always fun. Like Mason Rudolph versus Baker Mayfield in 2017. That was also wild, right? They'll put up some points. But with these two quarterbacks, Rattler's the guy that's more likely to go get you 400 yards through the air. He might throw 1 or 2 picks, but he's also going to throw 5 touchdowns. And can you run with these wide receivers who are really outperforming expectations, as Oklahoma has not been full up at wide out for some time? I think that for me, watching what Texas does this weekend against Oklahoma State, it's going to tell me a lot about who Oklahoma State is. I'm with you on Kansas State because Will Howard is just not that guy for me, even as Deuce Vaughn is holding it down for us short kings. I'm telling you, dog. With the 5'5" Deuce Vaughn, the 5'8" Brendan Radley Hiles, you got 2 of my favorite dudes in this league, because both of them dudes, we got to use the step stool if we want to get somebody's attention. But we out here making it happen, and y'all saying our names because, well, we're everywhere. You can't actually water us down. We're going to get into your chili. I'm thinking that Iowa State still has an opportunity here as well.
Is Brock Purdy, let me ask you something there. Is Brock Purdy the best quarterback in the Big 12? He earned that title?
Dude, so going into last season, I thought it was Charlie Brewer, right? And with the concussions and whatnot, he's put that into some sort of flux. But right now, I don't know that Brock Purdy, let me go at this another way. Brock Purdy is the most polished quarterback in the Big 12 right now, which is a wild indictment of Sam Ehlinger. But Spencer Rattler's the most talented quarterback in the Big 12. So it's a question of which do you want, right? It's a flavor test at this point, because, like, Purdy was getting stymied against Oklahoma State. Like, he could not complete a pass. A lot of that has to do with the Oklahoma State defensive back group, but if you're going to be the best quarterback in a quarterback league, you got to be able to carve up every secondary, right? And at the very least, Rattler has shown that he can carve up everybody that you put in front of him, even in games they lose, right? I don't know that there's another capable quarterback, though, and that's what's really just jaw-dropping to me. Max Duggan, I thought, would be much better and further along, but he's had some setbacks that aren't his fault. Some of them are just injury-related. I wanted Spencer Sanders to show up. He hasn't. I thought Shane Illingworth was going to be better. He won't get a shot. You look at Sam Ehlinger. He's been the same quarterback for the last 3 years. He's redefining what they do with the fullback position in this league. Charlie Brewer can't stay healthy for us to give him the nod. I keep going down the list, and there's just a bunch of guys that I don't buy into. Like, even Skylar Thompson, I didn't buy into him. He played a great game against Oklahoma. They exploited some big plays. I don't see it. And then I look at your league, the SEC, and I say, okay, Matt Corral, save Arkansas, good quarterback. Felipe Franks, I need to figure it out, man. I need him to figure it out. Is he good or is he not? Because, between him and Miles Brennan, I'm picking Miles Brennan today, but that's got more to do with what Felipe Franks hasn't done and more to do with what Miles Brennan has as opposed to who's more talented. Like, Franks is more talented. Brennan's actually doing the job. But then again, I'm going to take Felipe Franks before I take Bo Nix, which is an indictment of Bo Nix, and on it goes. So, like, KJ Costello also jumps in there. So, like, if you're looking at this quarterback group, and we're going to throw out Mac Jones, who's playing better than Tua Tagovailoa right now, which is insane.
In that way, yeah, that's so weird.
Right, that's not just weird, it's insane. Like, it's not supposed to happen. Also,
Jalen Waddle's injury is going to have a big effect on that, though, RJ.
Do you think so? Like, John Mitchell had 7 catches for 151.
Yeah, but to me, that's more of you speak of indictments. I think that's more of an indictment on Tennessee. Jalen Waddle is a top 3, maybe the number 1 wide receiver in college football, right? He's at least top 3.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know Nick Saban got on that rant. You just think we blank out players here in Tuscaloosa? Well,
because you do.
Yeah. I got a weird. I don't know how much it's going to affect the offense, but Mac is not going to finish with better numbers than Tua by season's end through 10 games at least. I can't see it without his boy Jalen Waddle.
Well, man, that's saying a lot because, like, I've been watching John Mechie, and he's playing the position that Waddle played last year, which is why I believe in him, right? Because last year was Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy, and everybody's going, yeah, but the Waddle kid, right? And before that, right, Jerry Jeudy in the slot. Again, 2018, I remember saying Oklahoma's going to get torched by this RPO slant inside route because you have nobody that can cover it. Nobody. First play from scrimmage, Tua sees the matchup on an outside linebacker, and Jerry Jeudy says money, and that dude took it 60 yards. So, like, I get that everybody wants to put a lot into Jalen Waddle, but they're just not built in a way that says Boobie Miles when you look at Jalen Waddle. Now, Najee Harris, you might have an argument for me because Brian Robinson hadn't got that many opportunities. But even behind Robinson, they got a 5-star tailback. They got Trey Sanders coming back from injury. They're loaded at every position, and I picked them in January to win the national championship. If Clemson or Ohio State win, fine. But I'm still riding with Alabama, even as their defense has been historically awful in the Saban era in the secondary. They seem to be figuring it out because they just have more talent. And so, to that, I'm asking, who's the second and third best quarterbacks in the SEC? Because, like, there seems to be a steep drop-off after Mac Jones and maybe Kyle Trask.
That's a good question, and I was hoping you'd say Trask. I can't say it's Kellen Mond because I think you mentioned Sam Ehlinger being the same quarterback the last few years. I think Kellen Mond's kind of in that same category. I'm trying to just go down the SEC list kind of over in my head. It's not Felipe as much as I like to be. It's not Felipe Franks.
Well, can we stop there for a second? Because I want to ask you about Malik and KJ. All right? Because, like, I'm a huge Malik Hornsby fan. I understand he played in an offense where they didn't throw the ball around a lot, and he, had one of the better wideouts and tailbacks in high school football last year. But I believe in him and in this offense. Why are you running Malik Hornsby out there and not KJ Jefferson in some situations? And what do you think their expectations are for Hornsby at this time?
Kendall Briles has been on Malik Hornsby since he was a freshman. Malik Hornsby was flying up the 24/7 recruiting board towards the end of his high school career. Mm-hmm. This is a kid that has a chance to be a major difference maker at Arkansas. The last time Arkansas truly had a dual threat quarterback, RJ, was Matt Jones. And he was one of the most, 6'6", 4'3", 4'4" speed.
Greatest athlete I believe Arkansas football has ever had. I mean that.
And I think I remember watching a video. I believe you said that before, and honestly, that sounds pretty accurate to me. Malik just offers something, a relationship, and Kendall just knows. That's not to say KJ won't be the starter next year, but there's something about Malik that, when, like, you develop a relationship with someone early on and you just have that. Well, Kendall's had that with Malik. He hasn't had that with KJ. Now, listen, again, like I said, KJ could win the starting job next year. And KJ actually got some opportunities this year as well, like Malik did. And thank God they haven't run that goal line package since then because it didn't work. Felipe needs to be in there. He's your veteran. Give him the opportunities in the goal line situation. But that is going to be a fascinating discussion. I know Felipe has an opportunity to return with the COVID stuff getting an extra year of eligibility. He's not coming back. He's gone after this year. It's going to be a fun off-season conversation. Hey, who's going to start next year? Is it KJ or is it Malik? And RJ, I really don't have a great answer for you, man.